Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Korner, your favorite TTRPG system. Uh, I'm your host, Cody McCloris, joined today by the Imperator.
Greetings.
He's playing
It
Kairo
is I,
Zetsubo, as always.
indeed.
Who else is here? We have Javier, who's playing Andrew Oid,
Of course.
the man, the myth, the legend. And then joining us, specially a new addition, the newest addition to the cyberpunk world. It's Kyle.
What's up?
He's pretty gay.
No, no.
He's just playing it down. Don't believe him. Don't believe
Character,
the word he says.
character might be, but no.
Characters are always gay.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, so last time we were on an oil rig in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, solving a murder mystery, but that's no longer the canon. We've had because we ended up stopping halfway through that mission, and it's been months since we filmed an episode, and I don't really feel like trying to. Well, I'm also too lazy to go back and watch them to figure out where we are, and also it would be like hell on earth to try and catch you knuckleheads up on all that BS months after the fact. So what we're doing is we're just like eliminating that mission entirely. So it's like the dates haven't changed. It's still 3 days from you got to have to next pay rent, and so it's like no, there's no time difference, no money difference, nothing has been gained or lost. Just that you guys weren't sent to an oil rig, and weren't framed for murder.
Indeed. But who was that culprit?
I'm not going to reveal it because I might reuse a similar style of game for later on. I mean, even though the person will be different, obviously the character will be named different things. I might work it around, Maybe not. Maybe in K2 and not K4. Have like a classic Clue style murder mystery in a big mansion where you guys have to walk around and investigate it and then get like attacked by like a zombie or something.
Quite possibly.
But yeah. So anyway, so that being said, the shopkeeping kept out of gotten out of the way. I should also note that the system has gone through several updates in the months that we've been gone. Stuff's a lot different, it's a little bit more complex than we were before. And also added like over 100 more bionics to the list. So hopefully you guys can spend those fat stacks of cash that you guys have, either earned or stolen in Oid's case. So, there's that. So, without further ado, to set the scene, uh, it is the year 2099, as it always was, in this lovely city of Ryanstown, super city of Ryanstown, the world's largest urban sprawl. It spans from the tip of Maine down to Maryland and what was Washington D.C. and it stretches west out to Illinois. It is quite the beefy city, several hundred miles in. Oh, I should probably go like 1,000 miles. In its dimensions. On this day, in late autumn, I'll say, it is raining as it tends to do in Ryanstown. The sky is dark. Sunlight very rarely reaches the actual ground level of the streets. But the camera, opens up not on the city street. Instead, it opens up on like the 100 something floor of a large apartment block. And the camera kind of looks in through these tinted windows as the sun sets early in the morning, and the camera then kind of floats slowly, drifts through the glass panes and into a familiar apartment. It is the apartment of Kairo Zetsubo, world hacker extraordinaire, and resident DJ.
Indeed. Indeed it does. So Kyra hasn't really gotten much sleep because he's been mainly working on, also pardon the outdoor noise, I am outside at the moment. Um, Kyra's going to be working on, tirelessly by the way, a new body for Ankh.
Mm.
This new body has been in the works for a few days now, uh, and finally starting to put the finishing touches on it. So yeah, that's what Kyro's doing. He's just been doing that for days on end.
All right, yeah. So we kind of zoom in, and it's very very early morning, probably like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, and Cairo is hunched over this like small metal desk with the tool rack hanging on the wall, and he's like soldering things and screwing in things, and he's got like a drill, and he has like goggles on, stuff like that, and he's wearing just like a sleeveless guinea tee, early in the morning, working hard, trying to fix up his Robo Boy that he purchased for a decent amount of money in missions past. So as you're working, and you kind of stop for a second to examine a piece of metal that you're soldering down to kind of form one of the frames for this new drone body. There is a very loud and very strong couple of knocks on your front door, and you have you get like the AR message in your vision that says dink, somebody's at your door.
Alright, one moment, I'm coming. And then I'm going to look over to my computer and have my computer give me almost like a viewfinder to the outside, like a peephole almost.
Yeah. So instead of a peephole, there'll be like a tiny 360-degree camera that can kind of, look out and give you a view of your front, the hallway, I guess, outside of your door. And as you kind of
Yeah.
turn to your computer and kind of send the mental link with your like weird hacker nerve, like cyberware, you kind of send the signal, the thought to your computer to show the peephole, and the screen flashes to life, and it shows the hallway, pretty standard, metal walls, a really crappy like maroon like red carpet, and there is a kind of like off-white, a small kind of 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot off-white plastic cardboard box out front of your as far like right out front of your front door. You don't see anybody though.
Oh boy. So, seeing this, I'm gonna grab one of my pistols, one of my hands of Anubis. I'm gonna hold it like behind my back almost, and I'm gonna like look down the hallway either way. Do I see anything?
No, you do not see anything. You do hear the elevator like ding like all the way down the hallway, which is like 100 yards. You do hear like the ding echo down the hallway to indicate that someone has just gotten to the elevator. But you would imagine that somebody had to sprint down this hallway to get to that end that quick.
Indeed.
So somebody
I'll
was booking it.
I'll carefully lift. Like, is the box like pre-opened or is it
Yeah,
sealed?
it's not taped shut. The top that like the side that faces the ceiling that you can see is just like it's flapped down. It's closed, but you can't see. Like it's there's no tape on it. There's no postage information on it. It's just a planned like plastic cardboard synthetic material essentially.
So before I do anything, I'm gonna open up a comms link with database or not database, bonus. My bad. Different universe. Uh,
Yeah, Steven
I'm gonna
Universe.
open up a comms link with bonus and fill him in on the situation.
All right, make me a luck check to determine if Bonus actually
Uh,
picks up his phone.
can can I hear anything from the box?
No, there's no sound coming from the box.
9.
9. So you kind of you use your weird thought process to basically connect the cell phone in your brain.
Well, no, it's my HUD.
And
It's just my HUD.
yeah, it's the AR display, and you kind of just think about it, and you
Yeah.
call little like photo, whatever you have his ID photo set in your brain phone. Uh, Bonus, and the phone rings, and he picks up almost immediately, and he just like, what do you need?
Someone just left a strange package outside my door. I'm gonna open it, but I want someone else here in case it's a bomb.
Bonus is like, do you want me to head over first?
If you want.
He's like, you just hear like a really chunky, like gun being cocked, uh, and he's like, all right, yeah, give me a half an hour, and then you hear him like start to move towards, like shuffling around, and then the call drops, presumably as he heads over to wherever you
Alright,
are.
I'm just gonna slowly shut the door again and wait at the door.
All right, yeah, you wait the half an hour. Nobody shows up. Nobody bothers you. Your apartment
Well,
is pretty quiet for most others, so nobody even walked on the
I'm
hallway.
gonna have, I'm gonna have the, like, visor link open on the box. Like, I'm gonna keep an eye on it.
Yeah, nothing. It doesn't move. It doesn't. It's just it's a box.
It's just a box.
Yeah, it's a box. And half an hour later, after half
Alright.
an hour passes, and bonus, you see, like the camera, the peephole, sees bonus walk up, and you get an alert that's like somebody's at your door. There's movement outside your door.
Alright, I'll open the door. Gun right next to me.
All right, yeah,
And,
you open the
I'll
door.
sit on the floor and, like, slowly maneuver the box in.
All right, yeah, you
Like,
open
I'm
the
just gonna
door.
slide it across the ground.
Yeah. So you open the door, and bonus is there, and he just kind of like stares at you, and you just kind of start to slowly, very carefully, like shift the box, towards like into through the threshold of your doorway and into the apartment. And bonus just kind of like
And I'll
folds his
and
arms
I'll
and
have
kind
him
of
come in.
stands outside while you do this to make sure nobody's like snooping on you. I guess.
Alright, so I'm gonna leave the door open for now, and once I get inside, I'm gonna like carefully lift one of the flaps of the box.
All right, so you carefully lift one of the flaps of the box as bonus kind of, what makes his way inside. And you are immediately hit by the smell of blood and the smell of recently deceased flesh as you open the box and look inside, and it is the decapitated head of the leader of the workers' union that you helped probably like a week or two ago at this point.
I'm gonna turn to bonus and tell him, hey, you gotta see this.
Bonus kind of walks up and he kind of looks inside and he's like, oh. And then he kind of like reaches, it kind of like rolls, like he reaches down and rolls the head to the side. And, the bottom of the box is like, kind of like, it's damp with blood, but it's not like soaked. It appears that they, drained his stump out before they put it in the box. It kind of rolls the head around,
How courteous.
and you see that there is a post-it note, essentially, like taped to the dude's forehead.
Well, what's that note say?
It's in Russian. Do you read Russian?
Yep. Well, I mean, going off of local dialects, probably.
Yeah, even if you didn't, you have Google Translate equivalent essentially. So you read.
Yeah,
You,
I'm basically gonna translate it with my
yeah,
with my HUD.
yeah. So you read it over, and it says pretty simply, "Stay out of our business" in all caps.
Uh, I'm gonna turn to bonus. Think you could gather anything from what that means?
Bonus looks at the note, and he kind of like removes it from the forehead with the flick of his wrist, and he kind of like looks it over. He kind of puts it down, kind of like rolls the dude's head around in the box, kind of examines it, looks at the eyes, stuff like that, and he's like, "This man died by having his head removed."
Well, I kind of figured that much.
Judging by the message and the person that this head belonged to, uh, this is probably the Jacksons warning us not to screw around with their business anymore after the riot that you pulled.
I'm gonna turn to bonus. I'm gonna turn to bonus, and I'm gonna tell him. Now, do I dare post about it?
And he's like, well, we have no evidence that it was the Jacksons. We just are pretty sure that it is. And they might not take too kindly to you posting about it, but I don't know. I don't care. Bush is like, something you need me for? Can I go home?
uh, First of all, any ideas on who we can bring this to do something about it?
And Bonus is gonna make an intelligence check to see if he can determine like how old the body is. Essentially, got a 10. Jesus Christ, Bonus. So Bonus kind of like looks, he kind of like pokes it, and he's like, "Nah, this guy's been dead for at least like 24 hours. Even if we jacked his head into, like a bunch of computer systems, no doc will be able to get any memories of his brain. His brain is mush."
I'm gonna try and have my home computer system do a scan to see if he has any bionics.
Sure. You do a okay. So you kind of like put the box with the head in it and kind of looking over and examine it. There are traces of well, for one, stimulants in his blood.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you gather that it's not like combat stims. It seems to be more um like standard street drugs, essentially street stims. There is also a chemical, a drug that you wouldn't have personal history or experience with, but if you Google it or whatever, pretty simple, easy to do. It pulls up the this like complicated chemical formula name that I don't have on me. That basically is like a pain enhancer for like torture, essentially. That it makes pain feel a lot worse than it would normally be. Um, you don't have access to the rest of his body, so you don't know if he has any bionics there. But his head and brain and eyes and stuff are all bionics free. Besides the obvious and copious amounts of drugs that were at one point in his system.
Because I was gonna see if he had an eye modification that allowed him to record.
Nope, he's got no head implants.
Alright. Well, guess this is going in the garbage.
Cool. So you just kind of
Unfortunate, but hey, what can you do?
just dump his head in like the trash chute. That's like a big like hatch in the wall of your apartment, and you just kind of like roll the head down there and let it close on its own.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. That's really all I can do.
Cool. Bonus. If that's all you need bonus for, he's gonna tell you that he's gonna head to the condemned to look for some work.
Alright, yeah, I'll be there soon. I'm just putting some touches on Onk's new body.
Bonus does not care. He leaves. He doesn't even listen. Like you're like, oh, I'm doing this
Oh,
really cool
okay
thing, and
then.
he just gone. Door closes. He has no understanding of technology, so he does not
Alright,
give a
well
single
then
damn.
I guess I'll do that and then boot up Onk's new body.
Cool. So you boot up the little quadcopter drone again, and he kind of
No, 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 not the quadcopter.
he's a quadcopter drone with the personality chip in
Well,
it.
yes, but I've been doing a new body.
Yeah.
This is what I've been. Well, this is what Pharaoh would or Kyra would have been doing on the whatchamacallit, on the rig, but he is instead now doing it at home.
Mm-hmm.
So he's building Ankh, a new cybernetic body that is the jackal body.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So you know boot him up,
Yeah,
and he has
that's what I was
his
talking about.
he has his little personality beeps and boops. He does obviously look like a robo dog. Um, he's not he
Well,
doesn't
yeah,
have
that's
any
the
like
point. Yeah,
pretty like armor
because
plating on him or
well,
anything, and he's just a standard, kind of like the Boston
yeah,
Dynamics dogs do, but like a little
yeah,
bit smaller and like more realistic looking. Because obviously
and it looks like a jackal.
the basic framework and piston and stuff all fit form to a jackal body. Just that he doesn't have any like metal plates on top of them to hide the wiring or the pistons or anything just yet. But yeah, you boot him
Yeah,
up.
I'm gonna
He
have to
works.
armor him up.
Yeah, his personality is his just like it was before. Walks around and getting used to his recalibrating his new mode of transportation since he's no longer a little flying
Indeed,
boy.
I'm gonna have to later down the road. I'm gonna have to outfit him with armor and a voice box.
Yeah.
All right. Well, are you ready, Ankh?
He just kind of like wags his metal tail.
All right. Well, let's go. I'm gonna throw on my normal attire, my trench coat, my helmet. I flip my head forward, and the helmet flips up.
Cool. You head over to the Condemned. Mr. Oid, what have you been doing over the past couple of days?
This is vital information we need to know.
It is vital information.
Gambling.
Just
Gambling.
not mass producing the cocaine that we got you off of the last mission.
Yeah, and it's,
Gambling was a joke. I definitely did not have anything better to do in my spare time than, create
That's why we
illegal
gave you the
substances.
cocaine. We gave you the cocaine so you could mass produce it.
Yeah.
But either way, go on.
What?
Just gambling? You've
Well,
just been gambling the past few
No, that was a
days?
joke.
Oh.
have you been making some fine pure cocaine?
Hell yeah, dude.
All right. Make me an intelligence
I
check
thought
to
he was
determine,
serious about gambling.
So was I, to be honest. I would, I wouldn't be surprised if you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna gamble my money away. Get a gambling addiction.
As the priest. As the priest.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, make me an intelligence check, Mr. Oid, to determine how much you're able to make and how good it is, how good of a copy it is of the original.
Well, might be a wasted investment because I only rolled a 2.
Oh no.
Um.
Oh no.
I think that's a fail. No, it's not actually, because you have very very high intelligence. So you don't make a lot. You manage to just like essentially double your stocks. You had like 1 kilo, 1 brick of cocaine that Bonus and Cairo delivered to you from their time on that horrible Hunger Games style island. And you managed to produce a 2nd kilo that is, of course, a synthetic copy of real cocaine, but it is a pretty damn good copy because you had access to like the real deal
An
instead
actual
of
specimen.
yeah. So rather than like copying
Yeah.
a copy of a copy, you're copying straight from the genuine, all natural cocaine. So it's pretty high quality. It'll sell for, probably like a couple, a few thousand dollars easy.
Hey. Look at our cash cow go.
Wow, is that all I am to you?
No,
Disappointing.
Xavier, you are a very, very vital part to our team.
You are. Nice.
All right.
So you make this 2nd brick of cocaine. Do you want to sell it before you next head to the bar, or do you not sell it and just kind of like sit on it for a while, or?
I'm gonna hold on to it for now.
All right, cool. So, bonus arrives to the condemned first. Since it's been so long, I will of course re-describe what the condemned is. The condemned is a mercenary bar, but it's not any mercenary bar. It got its name because of its unique architectural situation. So the condemned is not a bar you would find very easily. The address that's listed leads you, rather than to a bar, it leads you to a large skyscraper apartment block that is like low income housing, essentially, like the Japanese pod hotels, but marginally better. And there is the front, the front part that faces the sidewalk. There is a very small, like 7 foot tall, 5 foot wide, well 4 foot wide gap in the building. Um, and if you were to walk down this, like, thin alleyway that to most people looks like a maintenance corridor, if you were to walk all the way through that and enter into like the center of this skyscraper, you would find completely encapsulated by high tech, plascrete and steel plating, is a rickety old bar with it's also fully intact, a single story bar. It's got like windows out in the front. It's got a normal door, a little front patch of what used to be grass but is now only dirt and mud because there is no sunlight in here. Similar things. It's a full building, encased entirely in a much bigger building. And there are dozens of leaky pipes that kind of crisscross over above the this little pocket of trouble and crime that kind of leaks down. So it's perpetually raining in this little empty space. And bonus, he reaches a curb first on his flying motorcycle, his hover bike, and he parks it and gets off, and he walks down the maintenance alleyway past the kind of holographic security tape that kind of says condemned on it in a scrolling sort of digital overlay to prevent people from going to the bar, but it stops no one. He enters inside, and after him comes Mr. Zetsubo, who arrives on his not flying motorcycle, and he heads inside through the maintenance alleyway into the quote unquote courtyard, and then into the main
With Onk.
bar. Yeah, with their doggy in tow.
With Onk. With Onk just chilling.
Yeah, and then last but not least,
usual booth.
Yep. Last but not least comes good old Mr. Oid arriving in his car that's like a station wagon, but not a station wagon. He pulls up and he gets out and he walks through and he enters the bar. The condemned bar is pretty. It's pretty. It's a dive for sure. Poorly lit. The air is constantly smells like tobacco and chemicals and all sorts of like electronic, like vape flavors, and also alcohol and like sewage. Yeah.
Smells like home.
Yeah. To walk through the front door, and instantly to your right is this old rickety wooden bar counter with a couple of beat up stools that are like bent in the middle from people who had their heads bashed in with them and stuff like that. And behind the counter is an
old rickety man.
Yeah, an old rickety man to accompany and to sort of complement the bar itself is an old rickety man, kind of heavy set, balding, receding hairline, wearing a stained, like sleeveless white T-shirt and like a really stained, what used to be white but is now more like a beige or a tan apron over his front, and he has his right arm is this kind of archaic, old, quote unquote bionic, but nowadays it's more of like a normal prosthetic, and it kind of whirs and clinks and clanks, and you can hear like a screw jingling around somewhere in there whenever he moves it. And he's serving drinks to people. And despite the kind of crappy state of the place, the bar is still quite busy, and it is almost always busy through more or less all days and all weather conditions. No holidays for the captain, the owner of the bar, and that is because this is one of the more popular fixer bars in this area of Ryanstown, and that is to say that criminals go here to dish out jobs, and mercenaries go here to accept those jobs, and no questions asked. As anonymous as it possibly can be. It's truly like the most likely cantina. Everybody in here is always armed. Most people have some kind of intense cyberware that they, flash and show with pride. And most people are drinking or smoking or inhaling or injecting something into their poor meat suits. So our three intrepid wannabe mercenaries, they take their seat at their end booth, and from the kind of back door that leads into the really small and almost broken entirely kitchen of this run-down dive of a bar, steps a kind of late 30s, very kind of like ragged, tired-looking, muscular guy, and he has two large bionic arms, and he's carrying, this like just metal tray with the usual drinks that our party generally purchases. That is, vodka for bonus. Oid gets oil probably because he's a robot man and he doesn't necessarily need to drink anything. And Kyra orders his usual drinks, and the PCs know this as Mr. Cromwell, who used to be a pretty famous underground bare knuckle boxer whose sister was murdered by the party in the first mission, and he came after us looking for revenge and was then thoroughly beaten by a drugged out of his mind Mr. Zetsubo. And
I remember that.
yeah, and rather
Good
than
times.
follow the orders of the club's owners and kill Mr. Cromwell for failing to beat this newcomer, Cairo instead decided to blast the gangster in the face and kill his crew and save Mr. Cromwell. Although save is a loose term.
Save is a relative term.
Yes, it's a very relative term in this
Save
case.
is a relative term.
Yeah, they got him a job here at the Condemned, and he does not enjoy it particularly, although he does appear to be, he's alive, which I guess is better than he would have been before. So he walks over and he kind of...
the least he could do is be grateful.
Yeah, he's, he walks over and he's like, pleasure to see you all back in here, gentlemen. Good to see you.
You as well.
And he's like, so, looking to make any money today, gentlemen, or are you just here for, a social gathering?
Yet to be seen. Anyone comes up with a job, we'll probably end up taking it.
And Cromwell shakes his head and he's like, very good, very good. And then he just and then you hear Captain, who is the owner, he kind of screams over in this very hoarse, throaty voice for Cromwell to get back to work. And Cromwell just kind of turns around on his heels and hurries back into the kitchen. And you guys enjoy your drinks and kind of discuss amongst yourselves for probably...
I'm gonna turn to Bonus after he walks away. He seems to be in a better mood than usual.
Bonus kind of just, he has his arm up on the back of the booth, lounging around. He kind of turns to you and he's like, yeah, maybe he's finally not suicidal anymore. There'll be progress.
Indeed. Progress, indeed.
And you guys, sit there, chat, drink, have fun for a half an hour, kind of watching and listening People will come, walk in and come and go, and they leave, and people walk in with like suitcases full of money, and like a fight breaks out, and like, the captain has to like grab somebody by the throat and toss him out the window, in good, tavern fashion. After about half an hour, uh, three people enter the bar at once. The young woman leading the pack is instantly recognizable to everybody in the bar. A young woman. She has two very fancy bionic, very shiny chrome bionic arms with like cool LEDs like running along that have like different designs and they flash and blink and stuff like that. And she has half of her head is shaved and the other half is like super long and she kind of drapes over the side of her head and it has strips of LED light that she's had implanted into her scalp that kind of light up her hair. She's got tattoos on her on her neck and stuff, and you can see into her chest. She's wearing black everything, spikes on her shoulder pads of her leather jacket and stuff like that. She looks like she means business. You won't know her. It's Outkast, the international superstar and rocker girl in this case, who has quite the following with her anti-corporate message. Behind her is a young man, probably in his mid to late 20s, in a very nice like gray suit, black slacks. He has a nice gray tie, white dress shirt underneath, and he is holding like a tablet in his arm, and he has like a stylus pen in his hand, and he is sweating bullets right now. He looks terrified. He's like looking around everywhere. He's like he's like on Outkast's back. Like he's staying as close to her as he possibly can, and he is looking around and side eyeing everybody. And obviously, a celebrity like this walks into this bar, all eyes turn to them. So this poor suit is quite anxious, and basically like all of you would immediately clock this because you guys are by now experienced mercenaries. The kind of odd gait, the way of walking that this suit has, is an instant tell that he's hiding a gun in his belt somewhere that's making him uncomfortable when he moves. And he's kind of walking and kind of like shifting his weight around and kind of tugging into the back of his pants and stuff. Very obviously, he has a gun. Definitely not somebody who has experience with it, otherwise he would have put it somewhere else. But he looks terrified, and behind him is an instant contrast to the terrified suit. Kyle, describe your character if you do so, please.
Pain.
Great description.
Yeah. I don't even know how tall I would have made her. Probably a nice 5'11", sure. Has almost the same attire of black, except it has like red aesthetic on, a white shirt, black jacket, glasses, has white hair, grayish probably. I don't know. Kind of the same style as Outkast, shave one side, but I don't have a long comb. I just have short. Can't have it too long. People can pull it in the middle of combat.
Yeah.
Pains. Yeah.
Yeah.
White chick. Just kind of enjoying the environment.
Description.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Probably
So enthralling.
the most telling piece of information that you guys would clock because again, experienced mercenaries. She's a katana on her back, a large katana on her back. That's kind of sheathed in this like ergonomic, wireframe metal sheath that she's wearing, and
absolutely subtle.
yeah,
Barely noticed it.
Yeah, well, she barely noticed it. Definitely concealable. She looks far more confident than the suit does. She is unperturbed by being here. And Outkast doesn't look perturbed either. Outkast is just like she is walking towards the three of you with a determined pace. She is a woman on a mission. And she's gonna accomplish that mission. her agent behind her is terrified, and her bodyguard, presumably, is just kind of, nonplussed, standing there, following behind. Doesn't really seem to care either way where she is right now. Eventually, Outkast reaches your
before
booth.
before they reach the table,
Hmm.
Cairo's gonna turn to Bonus, like kind of like concealing his face, and just tell Bonus like showtime, and then flick forward his helmet.
Yeah, so Bonus kind of just like very slowly and slightly kind of like nods to you a couple times, and he kind of like straightens his posture up and sits up straight. Um, and yeah, Cass makes it to the table after a few more seconds of walking across the bar, and she kind of walks over and she slams both of her bionic arms on this kind of this thin metal table, and she kind of looks to all of you and she's like, I heard you guys are going to be here. Great. I have a job. I need some help. You guys up for a job?
I'll look to either side of me and look at like Mr. Oid and Bonus, and I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna just flat out say I don't think we'd be here if we weren't.
And Outcast's like, great. And she kind of like starts to move to kind of sit down in the booth across from you guys, like next to Mr. Oid. And her agent kind of like grabs her by the shoulder and is like, Miss, we should not be here. This is not safe. These people are obviously ruffians. Like this is no way. I don't want to be here. We can go through more official channels to get mercenaries. We don't have to go to this kind of an establishment. And Outcast kind of like shoves his arm off, and he's like, "Shut up!" And he kind of sits down across from you guys.
I'm gonna turn to the agent and I'm gonna tell him, but she has my card.
And the agent,
Kind of like jokingly.
yeah, and then the agent kind of like, oh, and he kind of turns to Outcast and he's like, Miss, I'm telling you that these people are obviously not worth our time. We
So
can find other people.
I would cut and like grab him by both his shoulders, turn him right, like look him dead in the eyes, and be like, "No one cares."
So
I look at him like, what?
You grab him and spin him around, and he looks terrified. He jumps when you touch him because he's so on edge. You turn him around, he's just like, please, miss. And he kind of like tries to shrug you off, but if you want to resist, he can't free himself. He has no bionic arms. He can't free himself from your grip.
I'm gonna try and console him and be like, look, you can go to other means. We're not stopping you. But we're reliable. We did the job back at your photo op, and we'll charge you a good price.
And Outcast's like, yes, that's exactly why I'm here, because I remember that life-saving event, and I figure who better than people I already know are out for my best interests, right? And her agent is like, what? You know these people? How do you know? What? You didn't tell me any of this happened. What's going on? And he's just like very confused. And Outcast just ignores him entirely.
It was all over the news.
And he just like turns to his tablet, and you see him like furiously type away and like reading things and scrolling through things. And he's like, oh, what? Miss, you did not tell me this has happened at all. We should never have. Oh my god, this damn city. He just kind of like shakes his head, like very furious, obviously, at the situation.
So I'm just gonna take and be like, hey, how about we relax with a drink, and I'll, regardless of how much he resists, bring him to like a nice spot where he won't get jumpy. Hopefully,
next to some very kind-looking mercenaries.
Yeah,
yeah.
like eye
I'll
patches
bring him to like
and
the
like
bar counter.
Okay, I bring him
Yeah.
over to the bar, and Captain, the owner, this big burly, fat old white man is there, and he kind of like looks. You walk up, and he kind of like leans his kind of heavy metal arm on the wooden counter, and obviously like looks this suit up and down, and is like, "What in the fuck are you doing in my bar?"
I'm with Outkast. Can I get this virgin a good drink to settle him down?
And then he kind of like looks at you and he's like, "I'm gonna knock him unconscious or just make him drunk."
Just something to calm his nerves. He's a bit unfamiliar with this air.
And he's like, "Yeah, I figured as much, you freaking pussy." And he kind of turns around and he just grabs the first bottle off the shelf. It's just like this clouded dark green bottle, and just undoes the cork. He pours a shot glass and he puts the cork back in. And he puts it back on the shelf and he slides the drink over, and he's like, "I'll put it on Cairo's tab." And and
Great.
the suit just kind of like grabs it with a shaky hand, and he kind of like he kind of like lightly sips at it, and then the captain just kind of like shoves the glass into his face to make him drink the whole thing in an actual shot. He's like, "Jesus Christ, man! Like, what's wrong with you? Do you know how to drink alcohol? God!" And he kind of like kicks the counter.
Virgin.
Jesus Christ!
That's more onto my like at least $56,000 tab.
Yeah, the small fortune of a tab you have here. And Captain's like, "God, stupid corpos, man." And he's kind of like, "You're lucky you're with Outkast, or I would lynch you myself." And it kind of like turns and like just talking to somebody else, and the suit is like,
coughing and whatnot.
yeah, he's actually I'm gonna make an endurance check for them at disadvantage because this.
God, watch him knock out in a drink. Be like,
No, you got a 10
wasn't my
and a
day.
9, so no, he's fine.
Oh,
He's still
nice.
coughing and like he's like he turns to you and he's like, "Miss White, why do we have to come here?" And he's not having a good time. He's not a happy man right now.
Nice. I'm just gonna end this so you can cut over to what's happening and be like, because she knows them.
And the agent, who you would know is named Julius Upton, he's just kind of like shakes his head and like puts his head in his hands on the bar counter.
I put my arm around his shoulder, at least comfort him.
Yeah, so across the bar, Outkast is sitting with the three true mercs, and she's like, "Oh, thank God, he's gone. Hate that guy." And she kind of like loosens up and kind of like stretches, like cracks her neck and loosens herself up, and she's like, I'm always so uptight around him. She's like, "But look, okay, I remember what you guys did for me. Well," and she kind of looks to the three of you, and she's like, "Well, I know two of you," and she kind of turns to Mr. Oid. She's like, "But I don't know who you. I never met you. He's like, are you new?"
Relatively, I suppose, but I serve a role within the group. Not, I suppose, so mercenary as the others.
She's like,
He's with us. You don't need to worry about him.
Like, good. I didn't want to, interrupt anything. And then she kind of like holds her bionic arm out to you, and she's like, "Name's Outkast."
And I guess I handshake and say, "You might call me Andrew."
And she's like, cool. She's like, I'm a big fan of the robot scene. They're pretty cool dudes. And she kind of like turns to the rest, all of you, and she's like, "Well, okay, now that I know all three of you, I do remember what you guys did for me back at the docks, and you guys definitely seemed like capable, fighters back then. So, now that my tour has had a couple more concerts under its belt here in the city, I'm gonna be honest, I need some help."
Well, that's what we're here for.
And she's like, "Well, yes, but so I mean, I assume you all remember what happened back at the docks with the guy with the camera, and then like the SUV that you like blew up or whatever."
Of course.
I was like, "Well, stuff like that's been happening more or less every day around here." And she kind of like points over her. She like points to Kyle's character, whose name you do not know. Kind of points over to Kyle's character, and he's like, "So I hired her onto my tour bus as a bouncer and as my personal protection. I mean, she means a whole lot of business." And she kind of like leans over and kind of like whispers. She's like, "She's a Kode, not a human. She's freaking badass." And she kind of like leans back in her chair. And she's like, but one person, as cool and as strong as she might be, isn't quite enough to stop like a riot from breaking out or stop like a whole police raid. And that sort of thing's been happening at like every concert that I've been holding. Fights, shootouts, police raids for no reason. People have tried to like hack into my systems and hack into the instruments and the sound and the lights and blowed me up with like car bombs and all this stuff, man. It's like, and she just like, I don't know how to stop it. I need help. The tour is only 3 more shows, okay? Only 3 more shows, and if I survive, then I'll pay you guys well, okay? And then I'll leave, and I'm never returning to this freaking city ever again.
Sounds about right. It's about on par for Ryan's Town.
Like, I don't know how you
Good
people
thing
live
is-
here.
It's an acquired taste,
Yeah,
much like the liquor here.
cut back to the agent who was like coughing his lung up from this drink that he's been given.
Case in point. But I'd be lying if I said we haven't handled something like this before. Luckily for you, we've handled this kind of security before. We've done our own concert, and we pretty much have the procedure down. So I think we'd be up to the task.
She's like, all right, cool. Well, I was like, that's wait to hear. It's like, okay, I'll give you guys, each of you 10,000 collars and free tickets for life if I survive this part of my tour, essentially.
I don't know what anybody else is gonna do, but Cairo's gonna like extend out his hand. Sounds like a deal. As long as Cairo's gonna have one condition.
Hmm.
And he's gonna tell her, like, I have one condition.
And she's kind
As
of like,
long as we do a collaboration while you're here.
and she's like, kind of leans back and she's like, you're a musician yourself, huh?
You must not have read my card.
She kind of like takes it out of her pocket. She's like, oh yeah, didn't read that part. I was kind of too busy running for my life,
Sounds about right.
She's like, well, sure. If you guys keep my two, the next 2 of my concerts safe, then the last concert here in the city, I will gladly let you, come up on stage and we can do something together.
Deal.
And she, extends her bionic
And
arm out.
Cairo extends his hand as well. Also bionic.
Yeah,
But looks fleshy.
it looks fleshy. You do a nice handshake. And bonus is just kind of like, sitting there nodding, barely paying attention. He seems to be more
Borderline falling asleep.
Yeah, he's just like does not care about any part of this situation. And then okay, kind of leans in and she's like, all right, don't tell the suit how much I offer to pay you, okay? And do not tell him that I'm gonna let you come up on stage, okay? If you tell him, he will probably try to strangle me to death. So just keep the secret between you and me, all right?
Hey, you know what? He tries anything, we'll shoot him too.
She's like, well, I wouldn't go that far. My parents hired him, so kind of need to keep him alive for
Parents
a little
are a
bit.
relative term in this day and age. Trust me.
She's like, nah, true. She's like, but he does good work even if he is a massive pussy. And she just kind of like looks over at him and just shakes her head and just like, God. And she's like, oh,
All right. Well, when do we start?
Well, now I guess. And she kind of like calls Kyle over and her agent back over to the table.
I bring him.
All right, you just kind of like, hoist him by his shoulders and kind of help walk him back over as he is now, not like inebriated, but he's definitely feeling a bit looser loosey goosey than he was before. So we walk over, and Outkast's like, "Oh, gentlemen, this is the most recent addition to my roadie group. This is Ms. Mays. She's a fellow mercenary like yourselves, so hopefully, you all will get along and play nice together."
I'll give like a two-hand or two-finger salute. Pharaoh. Anyone else gonna do an introduction to Maze?
Bonus just kind of like looks you up and down, and to kind of describe what Bonus looks like for Kyle and everything, because we haven't gotten a description of him. He is wearing a long trench coat with very obvious like Kevlar armor padding on the inside. He's got like these like heavy steel-toed combat boots. He has a nice, shirt underneath it. Combat pants, like long cargo pants. And he has the most prominent feature is a very, very expensive looking cyber mask that is like clicked into his face. It is, and so you can't read his emotions. You can't see any part of his face because this big mask is in the way. And he kind of looks you up and down.
Just know that he can see you.
Yeah, just so that he can see you. And he might be watching you at all times. You just can't tell. He looks you up and down, and he kind of like nods, and he's like, "Name's Bonus."
I do that nod back, like Maze.
Mr. Oid cares not for
And
introductions.
last but not least,
No.
Mr. Wood needs no introduction.
Mr. Oid. He just exists. God.
All right. Well, I guess Kyra will stand up if Mr. Oid's not gonna do an introduction here.
I guess I wave. That's about all I need.
I wait
Alrighty
back.
So Kyra's gonna stand up and like kind of whistle Ankh out of sleep mode.
Yeah, this big robot dog kind of like its ears kind of flick up, and he kind of like lifts his head, looks around, and kind of rises to a stand.
All right. Well, no time to waste then. I'm gonna slide across the table and stand on the open floor.
All right, yeah. Outkast gets up, and Bonus gets up as well. And Outkast's like, "All right, well, I have an SUV outside that'll bring us to my tour bus. So it's like back by the venue for tomorrow. So you guys can go there and make sure that the place is safe, because no offense to Maze here, but it's a pretty big stadium for a one woman operation.
Fair enough.
It pains me.
Bonus. What's it? A single chuckle at that comment. A single chuckle. Outcast's like, "Yeah, cool. So, to the car it is then." And she's kind of starts walking off, and as she walks past, Captain's like, "Have a good day, lassie." And she's like, "Whatever, old man." And this kid just keeps walking, and he's like, "Nah, freaking kids."
Kids these days.
Yeah. Back in my day, we
Kyra will
respected
follow
our
suit.
elders. All right, and you follow suit.
Kyra's gonna follow suit.
Bonus
And
will
I'll
follow
tap my
after.
leg and Ankh will follow with me.
Yeah, Ankh follows, and Bonus falls after you, keeping his head on a nice swivel. Cool.
Once again, just waiting on Mr. Oid.
Well, I assume he would follow unless he's just gonna,
Cool.
stand there.
I mean,
Well-
I'm not gonna just sit around.
Well, yeah.
All right, so everybody makes
Quick
their way
pit
out.
stop. I'm gonna stop at my bike,
Hmm.
grab Ankh's drone form, and just
Quadcopter
slide
body.
it into one of my coat pockets.
All right, yeah,
Just it's all folded up and nice and neat.
Yeah, well, you have like the backpack for him, for the quadcopter for him. You grab that off from the storage
So
compartment
I'm gonna-
of the bike and put it on. looking cool.
Yes, indeed.
And like cool sci-fi LED glowing backpack. Has like the
And then
quadcopter
I'll
body
then
on it.
I'll open up the trunk and let him jump in where he weighs down a good portion of the SUV.
Yeah. So you know walk up and Outcast kind of she kind of like waves her hand and the back door opens up. Assumedly she's also nerve linked to the car.
Ah, nice.
And Unk hops in and yeah the car is like squeak and quake a little bit. This big metal dog climbs inside. And Outcast is kind of like, open the door and kind of like stands there, and he's like, "All right, well, yeah, to the stadium then, check everything out, make sure it's all good in the hood, and then you guys can like go home or whatever, and then we can reconvene tomorrow for the concert." She kind of like gives
All right.
a nice double thumbs up. I would like everyone to make a perception check really quickly.
Oh, be would suck. We go there. Every square inch of the place has just a mine there.
I've got a 9 on my perception.
All right. Cool. Let's pass from you, obviously. Bonus got a
Perception
7.
of 7.
Yeah, bonus got a 7.
I get a 4.
Got a 4. I
got
believe
an
that
8.
still passes. Yeah, definitely. That passes for Maze. I'm pretty sure everybody passed. So you all are kind of standing there, getting ready to get in the SUV or get back on like your bikes or whatever, whatever mode of movement you're going to use to get to the stadium. And as you guys kind of begin to get in the car, you notice a second SUV. This one is the Outcast SUV is black. It's blacked out windows. It's kind of a little bit like extended out. A little bit like it's got like 3 rows of seats instead of 2 rows of seats. Like a van size. And as you guys are getting in this car, a second SUV that is also black and like totally blacked out windows. It kind of like begins to like slow roll and kind of coast like past you guys. And
So we're still standing outside the SUV, right?
yeah, so you guys are on the sidewalk essentially.
I'm gonna keep my eye on this SUV and like kind of reveal my my hand of Anubis on my right side. Put my hand on the gun, kind of draw out, and just hold it there, and watch as the SUV starts to roll past.
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna bring it up at my side and aim at one of the windows.
So you kind of like
And
aim at one of the
click the
windows.
safety off.
And yeah. So you kind of like, and it kind of like, it's probably like 25 feet away from you right now. Because obviously there's like, you're on the sidewalk, and then there's the parking spots, and then there's the actual road. So it's kind of like coasting past, and you aim the gun at the window. And I need, who would I need? I would need everyone except for Outcast and Upton because they're both blocked by the car. I need everybody else, and Ankh too. Ankh's immune. Everybody else to make a luck check, real quick.
Oh boy.
I will roll for bonus.
Got an 8.
Get the pass from you.
Let me see.
7.
Pass for you. Bonus fails.
Unfortunate.
Did 2 of us fail? Great. Love to see it. So as
Oh
you
boy.
aim the hand of Anubis at the window, the window is suddenly shattered outwards as a hail of automatic gunfire just fires from this window, and everybody is forced to just like jump to the side as the car like slams on the gas pedal and drive-bys this like building essentially in this part of the sidewalk. And
I'm gonna take a shot.
Can I react quick enough to shoot one of the tires out?
well, first I have to roll because unfortunately Bonus and Mr. Oid got hit in the initial spray of bullets. So I'm gonna roll 2d100 damage for the both.
Oh
of us.
god.
Are we rolling initiative yet?
Sure. All right, so bonus takes
Oh,
111 or 110 damage. Jesus.
oh, first crit of game. First crit.
This bonus
Crit 10.
gets laid out by that shot, and Oid takes 80 damage. Do you have armor? Oid, I think you have armor, don't you? You do, so you can roll an armor check.
I think most of him is armor.
I see.
Yes, he has. He's a metal man.
Armor does
Do we
not
need to roll? Do we
pass.
need to roll a ricochet safety check on Oid?
So armor does not pass. So you do still take 80 damage, which is not a lot, but you know. Now you're down to 220.
I got a crit on initiative.
So you get a crit. So what's your agility
Nice.
looking like?
My agility is 5.
You get a 15. Also roll.
I got a 16.
You got a 16. Sweet. Roll for Ankh as well. With his new body, he would have a stat of 7, agility of 7. The dog body.
That's a 2. Ankh is pretty slow right
2,
now.
So he's a 9. Yeah, he's still getting used to his new body, you know. Bonus got an 8 plus whatever his agility is, which is a 6, so he gets 14. Bonus is feeling quick today. What does Mr. Oid get?
13 total.
13. All right. And I have to roll for the enemies. Can't forget them. They're kind of important. Wow, they rolled piss poor. They're going last.
Nice.
These
So
are
they
the
rolled
number.
lower than Ankh?
Yes. Well, they're also like they have a lower agility stat than Ankh does. So.
Oh, nice. Nice. So who's at the top of our turn order?
Top of the turn
That
order.
would be moi.
Yes, it is. It is Kyle. So you, being that you are a Codian, not a human, you are just naturally, faster, stronger, more alert than most people, and you just kind of, the second these bullets start flying, you dive to the ground, and take cover behind the Outkast SUV, and the car just begins to speed past. It would be, in terms of distance-wise, can move 40 feet. So it would be like 50 feet away from me right now.
So the better question is, do I want to fire the Deeg or the assault rifle?
I know the AR. Probably more accurate.
True.
And you can fire more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You can fire multiple shots.
I'll do the AR. But my first thing would probably see if Outcast and her suit is okay.
All right, so you kind of like think you're taking the cover behind the car and you kind of like throw the passenger side door open and reach on the floor, and she pulls out this like sci-fi M4, essentially this like miniaturized M4, and just kind of like racks the slide back and puts the safety off, and you can take a look. Mr. Upton in the driver's seat. So actually, probably should make a luck check for him to see if he got clipped.
He drives.
Yeah, he drives. He got a 6, so yeah, he
While
passes.
drunk?
Well, that's a good point. So no, he'd be in the passenger seat then.
All right.
And so he's fine. He's currently
Outcast
like
was still on the sidewalk, right?
yeah. Well, she was on the sidewalk, but like she was like right up against the car, about to step into it, so she's fine. The car blocked the bullets. Mr. Upton, he's currently like his head is ducked, like as far as it can go, like in his crotch, ducked, hiding from the bullets that are flying over him. He's screaming currently, like ah! He's freaking out.
Dude, I
he's
would.
fine.
If we were in this situation, I'd so say how gay he is, but whatever. So I think what I'm gonna do is fire 4 times with my targeting suit, right?
Yeah, targeting suite.
Is that a -1 now?
Yes.
To the 4 times?
Yes.
So each time you fire, it's a -1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you have the +1 from your inbuilt cybernetics.
This is on perception, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perception. Okay.
I'll
So
roll a 4 or higher to pass, essentially.
okay. I hit 3 out of the 4.
3 out of the 4.
And none of them were crit.
Cool. Okay. So you would just hit the main body of the car because you didn't, like call shot anything. So roll.
No, I was waiting to roll.
Oh, you were
I
waiting to
wanted
roll?
at least yeah, I was waiting to roll to see
So
anything else
aiming
because I want to at least shoot
aiming for tires incurs disadvantage because tires are small and they move fast.
So I'll just re-roll 2. Or no?
We'll re-roll all 3 hits with disadvantage essentially. Like one more, like
Just
3 more dice rolls and then use the lower number. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they still hit.
Okay. Then we're gonna roll damage
No
because
crits,
wheels
so
do not have very much health because they're tires. So you just kind of like flip over flick over, mount your rifle on the hood of the car and just kind of shoot through the windshield and out the back window, and you kind of like riddle the back bumper and you like with sensing 2 bullets and you pop the back left tire. Now I actually have to find, because these guys are currently like pedal to the metal, so they're gonna have to roll a collision.
Nice.
So I have to get, and this would be a specific type of collision.
While that's happening, I'm gonna tab my data pad, and I'm gonna have my bike pull up, and I'm gonna hop on my bike.
Where's my? Okay, it is here. Okay, I was right. So collisions. This would be a. This would be a regular crash, I think. Unless I can, because there's hit location, hit location, malfunction. This is what I'm looking for. Malfunctions for the tires. Tire blowout. Not only is the car down a tire, the tire's sudden combustion sent the car flying into the air. So, yeah, okay. So everybody in the car takes a general collision as the car kind of swerves off the road. Essentially, everybody takes.
If the inside of the bar can hear this, I think they did it at the worst time.
Yeah, if they the gunshots, yeah.
It's like committing a crime in front of the police station.
Yeah, so everybody in the car takes 50 damage, ignoring armor because this is like a collision.
This is physical. Yeah.
Oh, that's have to roll 1d12 to figure out if the car takes an additional malfunction from slamming into this. Rolls a 10, so no, it does not. That's also have to roll 1d8 for the car itself. Not that it would really matter because these guys aren't really going to be able to keep moving. Only 20 damage, not that big a deal. So Maze sprays the back of this SUV with this assault rifle and pops the back left tire. The car, because it was in the midst of accelerating to its top speed, albeit slowly because it's an SUV, the car kind of like it fishtails and it swerves and it kind of spins in the middle of the intersection and kind of slams, kind of clips like the front right side of the engine block essentially. Kind of slams into like a lamppost, and the lamppost kind of bends and smacks onto the ground, and the car is stopped essentially.
All right. Yeah, I'm still gonna call my bike over and ride over to the scene of the crash.
All right, so you spend your turn moving over. So you do call your bike over, get on your bike, and then you drive over to the
driver's side door.
Driver's side door. Okay.
Yeah.
So you quick, pull up. You don't have enough actions to get off your bike, but you are there. So, next turn you can fire or get off your bike or keep driving or whatever you got to do.
Well, that was the whole thing. Was I was gonna go over to the driver's side door, get off, and then,
you wouldn't have enough movement to.
But I'm on my bike, holding my gun at the door.
Yeah, so
making
you're
sure
just
no
gonna
one weasels their way out.
readying yourself. Up next is bonus. Bonus, seeing drive over quickly. He's going to spend his turn running over. He can get to within range, but he can't fire or anything and be anywhere nearby. So that's his turn. Next is Mr. Oid.
Alright, so I guess I'm probably just gonna, draw a gun and take cover behind the car because I don't feel like getting shot again.
Cool. Yeah, so you drive a gun, take cover again. The bullet only kind of like clipped your shoulder, so it's not like devastating damage. Bonus is looking bad though. Bonus is bleeding from his stomach. He got shot pretty bad.
He'll live.
He'll live. Yeah, he'll live, but he lost like over half of his health in that one bullet, so he's not feeling too good right now. He can push through, but he's feeling the pain. Okay, that's Mr. Oid's turn. Up next is Ankh, the jackal drone.
All right.
He's in the trunk of the SUV.
Ank's probably just gonna chill and like lay low. He's probably gonna get out through the back and like scan the area, make sure there's no other threats.
Cool. Make a
Do you want me to roll that perception check?
yeah, make a perception check. As a dog, so his perception would be 8 normally.
6. He rolls a 6.
So he passes. So he kind of like looks around. The passersby on the streets are all like turning and looking. Some people are screaming and running away. Some people have their like phones out or like and recording this and stuff like that. You're like, oh my god, this is so crazy. Several the cars in the intersection that the SUV crashed into. The intersection is like a dead stop. Obviously, no cars are driving. Everybody's just in their cars and their bikes and stuff that are like, oh my god, what happened? Oh my god. People are recording it, freaking out. In terms of other threats, you do not see anything.
Yes.
You see a whole lot of people who can't take their eyes off of a car crash because it's just so interesting. That's Onk's turn. Now it is the enemies. So the enemies, I'm gonna roll number real quick. Epic. So some of the doors on the SUV kind of open up, and for half of their movement, 3 kind of goons in black suits kind of like open the doors and kind of stumble out. All of them are like bleeding from their heads, got broken noses, busted lips. Like one of them has like a glass shard in his eyeball that is currently leaking, ocular fluids and like tears and stuff. And like they're messed up. They're covered in, like soot, and like their clothes are torn and stuff because they have got half health with that crash. So they're not doing too good, and they'll kind of stumble out. And the 2 dudes who are in the back of the car, they both have like cheap looking SMGs, like Uzis basically, or like Mac 10s.
Yeah.
Own security Mac 10s essentially. And then the driver, he steps out and he just kind of like draws a pistol, a standard, also like a cheap own securities like Glock, essentially a very standard, unimpressive pistol. I have to move it to dismount from the car. And the guys, actually, I'm gonna roll to see if they would actually even still care because they know that they're in deep trouble now. So that one guy is definitely about to start booking it, for sure. Guy number 2 is fine, and guy number 3 is fine. So the driver, he kind of like gets out. He kind of like has his hand to his head, and he kind of looks around and he sees Cairo pull up and like skirt with like flick the bike over and stuff and draw his gun, and like everybody else is running towards him. There's like a robo dog over there, and he's gonna go with an assault rifle, and this guy's like, "Nah, I'm out." And he's gonna use his whole turn. He's gonna move what would be 35 feet. He moves, like, and starts like limping his way down the block, and actually, yeah. So he down the block, weaving in between like cars, try and find cover. But he's also like waving the gun in the air, being like, "Get out of the way, get out of the way," trying to flee for his puny little life. The two dudes with SMGs, they appear to be a little bit less perturbed, but are still definitely, horrified at the situation. So he, what are they gonna do? I think they're both going to take cover. And then take cover, and I guess like they fire. I don't think they would fire. I don't think they would. But yes, like I was saying, yeah. So two dudes, SMGs, they are not perturbed by the crash, and they're going to take cover behind the car. Only one of them is going to actually try to shoot at Cairo. He's only going to fire. Well, I think SMGs can only fire 4 times. So he's going to try to fire 4 times at you at a -2 because SMG. Let's see. Can he hit?
Can I dodge?
You cannot dodge bullets, unfortunately. He misses 3 times.
I can't like do a burnout and like reposition.
Nope. No, you cannot. You cannot dodge bullets.
Reaction drifts away.
Yeah. He only hits
Can't
you
even
once.
like dip and dodge my head out of the way.
You take 130 damage as he smacks you right in the chest.
130?
130 damage.
Oh wait, no, wait. My coat is like armored, isn't it?
Yes, it gives you health, not like armor stat.
Oh well. Alright then.
So that's why you didn't just die. you would have been unconscious if you didn't have that coat on. So,
Oh, cool.
So
Cool.
he just and the bullets like they kind of like fire off, and like one like breaks a window on a building nearby, and another one like smacks into a person's car, another one flies off into space, and the fourth one finds purchase in your armored chesticles, and kind of like knocks you.
I can't.
You're like, oh.
I can't pull a retort to that, can I?
I mean, you can say something. That's always a free action.
Well, yeah. This is kind of unfortunate.
It's kind of
Alright.
unfortunate. So that's the enemy's turn.
Can that knock me off my bike so I don't have to take the next turn getting off my bike?
I mean, ordinarily it would be an endurance check or a strength check to remain on it, but if you just want to auto fail, you can auto fail.
I'm gonna auto fail and like fall off my bike, but stand up.
All right, yeah.
Afterwards.
So the shot just poof, and you kind of like get like, and then your bike like falls on its side and you fall prone, and you can get up next turn. You are off your bike though, so it's good. You can use it for cover now instead of just like being on it and out in the open. Up next, top of turn order, it's Kyle.
So
It's your turn. You're gonna murder. You can see 2 of them, although you do hear the third one screaming about like move out of the way, get out of the way, corporate business or whatever, and he's trying to sprint down the middle of this busy city street.
business.
Yeah.
Oh man, I so want to slice that guy in half now.
You can't see him right now, but you can see. Well, you know where the 2 SMG guys are, but you don't know where the driver went to. You can't see him from here.
Can I take
I'd be
two?
able to see the
Yeah,
driver, right?
you see him still. He's down the block.
So, oh, so he sees the guy that's running.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. All right. So what I'm gonna do is can I take another 4 shot? Actually, how many are even in a clip?
We should have like 32 or something, I think. Like 36. It's enough.
No, you never said. But if you know what it is, it's enough. It's enough for what I want to do.
Yeah, it's enough.
Can I
4
take?
shots.
Yes, you
Yeah.
have
Can I take
4
2?
shots. God.
Yeah. Can I take
Yeah, take
2
two.
dink shots at the guy on the left, and then 2 dink shots at the guy on the right? Yeah.
No,
Try to get
full.
4
I
bullets
I
to
am
get a
also
headshot.
I am also there. Please be careful.
Don't
So-
worry. Probably.
Just like spray his spine and just like kill him instantly. So no, because firing full auto can only target one person, because obviously you can't like, do that. You could
This is
fire semi-auto and fire 2 times, once at each, or you could just aim one
so
down.
4 is auto, 2
Yeah.
is semi.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 semi, and then once is like
Alright,
an
yeah,
aim
sure,
shot
I'll do that.
essentially. Should we fire 2 times?
Yeah. Alright. Well, I'll do. Yeah. So I'm just
Alright.
gonna take 2 headshots.
This is a called shot, so it's a disadvantage. It's at a -1 because of this, and they have cover, so it's another -2. So it's -3 with disadvantage to hit these guys in the head.
So do I get a -2 because of the targeting suit?
Yes, you have a -2 with disadvantage to hit these guys. You have to roll a 5 or higher
Jesus
to hit them.
Christ. Alright. Let's hope. Opa. Okay, so I hit 1.
Okay. Did you not hit the? Did you miss the second one?
And I got 5 for each. I just barely passed.
All right. So even
Or
with
actually,
disadvantage,
wait, what even is my perception?
is 7 normally.
Perception. Yeah,
Yeah. So with the
it sucks because on
-6.
both rolls, I it pains me. I got fucking nats. I was like, and I got a call. So I'll be right back.
Ah. All right. Well, I'll roll damage for him. It probably will kill them both because they have very little health, and this is an assault rifle to their face. So, let's see.
I'm back from my call. They're talking about a car I don't own. I don't own any
Nice.
cars. I just have one.
So the first guy you hit in the head, he's dead. Second guy you hit in the head is also very, very, very dead. So you just pop, and through the windows, the shattered windows of this SUV, you just, and the one guy gets hit, half his face is blown off, and then the second guy, he has his like neck pierced by a 5.56 bullet, and they both drop dead because they only had half of their health because that crash injured them so.
That's sick.
And that is your first action if you want to like move or do anything or like get in the car or something.
How many feet of movement do I have?
Your utility is 7, so you have 35 feet.
Is it enough to get in line of sight to the guy that's running away from us?
No. The end of the block is like 80 feet down from you guys.
No, like not to catch him, but just to see him.
Don't kill him.
I'm not gonna kill him.
I'm gonna try and capture him.
Yeah, I was getting. If I couldn't catch him, I'd shoot his leg, and hopefully he wouldn't die.
No, you.
Hopefully.
He might die. He
It's-
might die from that.
Yeah, he probably would. So it's 80 feet to the intersection, and then he's another, like 40 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet down the other block. So he's like 150 feet away from you total.
Yeah. So
So
I
you can
think
get on your way,
I'll
but you can't,
entrust. Yeah, I think I'll entrust my new teammates to capturing, and I will calm down the Virgin and help out Outkast. So
Okay, yeah. So you just
Yeah.
start to kind of like help Outkast in the car, and she's like, "Whoa, that's going on?" And this is a gun. She's a pistol, but she isn't like privy to use
Do you
it.
know how to use it?
Yeah, she's not exactly like a marksman or an experienced combatant. Um,
There's 11 bullets in the mag and one for herself if necessary.
yeah. So up next is Pharaoh.
All right, so I'm laying on the ground, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna whip out my stun baton from my arm, grab it,
Mm,
stand up with it,
mm.
and then march over to the driver and try to grab him.
All right. So your agility is 6, right, or 5? 6, yeah. Because
Yeah.
no, it's 5 because you go to 10.
5.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you can
yeah.
move 10 feet with your with the same action that you use to stand up, and then you can use your second action to move another 25 feet and get 35 feet.
Okay.
That would
So
make
how
you
far
pretty
away
close.
from him am I?
If you doubled, like if you used your whole turn to dash and to move, you would get 10 feet away from him. Like you'd be like almost on top of him.
So I'm gonna use my first turn to kind of like jump up
Hmm.
and like go into a sprint, and then I'm gonna leap onto him, like try to tackle him
And you're not you're not
and like
close enough to
hit
do
him with the
that.
stun baton.
Yeah, you're not close enough to do that. Give you both your actions to even get within 10 feet of him, because he's
Mm.
moved quite far. He used his entire turn last time to just try to flee from this horrible drive by gone wrong. What this is.
Let's see here. What can I use to impede him?
Throw a rock at him.
You have a gun.
It works every time.
Shoot in the
I
spine.
have a gun and a stun baton.
Yeah.
Paralyze him.
A
Paralyze him.
gun and a stun baton. I'm gonna try. So what I'm gonna do? Okay.
Do I know? I think I know what you're gonna do.
You're gonna throw the stun baton, aren't you?
Yes.
More than like that's really all I can do. Uh,
I mean, you could just wait next turn to catch up to him.
that's not gonna work though. I'm gonna have to use my entire turn to catch him again.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the first turn to sprint and
Hmm.
get within some range. And then my second turn, I'm gonna tomahawk my stun baton at him.
Right. So with your first action, you move 10 feet closer. So he would be like 50 feet away. So yeah, it's just within your throwable range.
Oh,
Actually, no,
nice.
it'd be well within it because
Dope.
you have a higher strength. So yeah, you can hit him. So give me a
Dope.
perception check to try and bob and weave this over the cars. So I'll give you a -1 because it doesn't have cover.
Let's go.
But
Let's go. I got an 8.
nice. So you do smack him with this stun baton.
Does it hit him? Does it hit him? Like baton end first.
Make a luck check. See if it does.
All right. That is a. Let me check my stat here. That is a 5.
5. That's
Luck stat of 5.
that is a pass. So yes, it does. It does hit him electrode end first.
Nice. All right. So that is 1d4. Let me find my stun baton. 1d4 times 10 damage per strike, can be done a maximum of 2 times per action, requires melee range, and forces the victim to make an endurance check per attack or be stunned for 1d6 combat turns.
Cool.
So this is hitting him in the back.
Yes.
He's not